Potholes and Penguins, Six Nations shows brought to you by Camille Thai Restaurants. I love a chicken massa, man. Small ones, massive ones. Good mood Thai food when you're dressed or in the nude. Six Nations on your couch, chili chicken in your mouth for takeaway deliveries. Camille Delicious Thai Cuisine. Okay, Wales versus England. Let's start there. So, according to your silly little bit, you believe that Wales were absolutely poxed with those two decisions. Is that correct? Guazier was as mad as everyone is saying he is, and they were 100% not tries. Or are you?
Not 100%. I think in the balance of it, Wales were very lucky getting both of those decisions.
Okay, let's go with the first one. Crossfield kick. That was the first one. What do you think?
I think unfair to England.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, slightly
in
unfair.
The balance of it, slightly unfair. Yeah.
I think slightly the French bias in his soul against England just creeped out there, and like because he knew that they were getting the wool pulled over their eyes a little bit, and just that split second, it was like, tell me when we can go, and he couldn't have blown the whistle faster. He was like, go.
But it's not. To be fair, it's not his. It's not his responsibility to say, England, just make sure you're ready. There's something, these boys have got something up their sleeves. I know, but
is there something to do with the water being on the pitch that you're not allowed to play on with the water on the pitch?
That's what Farrell was saying. Yeah, I assume that was what he was getting at.
And Farrell had actually turned back to him and said, water bottles allowed on the pitch, yeah?
Oh, did he? Did he specifically say that?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
that's very,
now there was a long time. There was a long time, and hats off to Wales for noticing it, and it is quite a French referee's approach, just like whoop, jouer.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit harsh. Second one, then the knock on or not knock on from Reese Lewis or whatever his name is. Zammit. Just have to head into that name and bless yourself.
Lewis Reese thingy.
Yeah. The winger. What do you think?
So he, am I right in saying it doesn't, whatever direction it went doesn't matter, because he's saying that it effectively is a kick because it came off his knee, so he kind of dropped it but kicked it. Is that why he got away with it?
I think so. He didn't actually specify that was why. He just said I didn't see a clear knock on.
Yeah. Because I understood, again, who knows, we need to talk to Lacey about this, but I understood that if you lost control of it, you can't like lose control of it and then hoof it while the ball's on its way to the deck, so it looks like you're kicking. You still lose control of it. So he definitely lost control of it.
But he lost control going, I think, this is now, I've been trying to look at this, and I tried to look at these few games with without any distractions, and because Ireland have been talked about to play off the spur of the moment and just what's the word I'm looking for? Instincts. Just that's the words that's been thrown around a lot. Instincts are important. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to be instinctual watching this game. And I'm not going to be on Twitter. I'm not going to be on anything. I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to listen to anything and just focus. And my instinct straight away was, I think that could be okay. It kind of felt like his hand actually knocked it backwards, and then his foot knocked it. Then his back of his leg hit it or something, but it didn't go forward off his hand. So
if it didn't go forward, then it's a different. Then it's a different issue. Then it's the momentum thing again, isn't it? It's that debate.
Because I looked up the laws, and they're here. And when a player loses,
good man, jeez, when have we ever looked up laws?
Well, it was on Twitter. I took a screenshot.
Barry, that's not very on brand.
When the player loses possession of the ball and it goes forward, so I actually don't think it went forward. Or when a player hits the ball forward with the hand or arm, or when the ball hits the hand or arm and goes forward and the ball touches the ground or another player before the original player can catch it. So it does actually open the question, what you were saying about if you did drop it and then you hoofed it before it hit the ground. Is that a knock-on?
Although that seemed, what you read there seems to suggest that you can get away with it before the ground or another player touches the ball. So if you hoof it, then that's saying that you can get away with that. But my understanding was always that wasn't, you wouldn't get away with that. In the same reason, you can't run up to the defensive line and throw the ball over them and then run around and collect it the other side. that's a forward pass.
So maybe I think so. I don't think that says that, but I think what I'm thinking is that he actually knocked it backwards. Is what Guazer was saying, that he didn't knock it forward. And if you look at it very closely,
then that's okay. Then that's a different. It's like two different debates, isn't it? If he's saying that he knocked it back, then it's the momentum debate, and it's very difficult to get clarity around that. So that's just, at least we're identifying that that's what the debate is.
And I think it is.
I love the way we're actually talking about laws now. It's brilliant.
It was just so interesting. It was such a weird moment, because you'd think stuff like that would happen more often, but it doesn't. Maybe it does happen more often than we think, but it doesn't result in tries. I'm sure that if you looked at a lot of knock-ons, you'd probably see stuff like that all the time, but they don't result in big moments.
People don't. I don't think the players take advantage of little loopholes in the law. I don't think players take advantage of the opportunity that exists with the Falcon. It's like I always used to think, it happened to me once actually playing for Ireland, I think it was, and I was like first receiver, and I had my hands up like a TV screens, like you learn in Leprechaun Rugby. That TV screens, the ball went straight through my TV, smashed my TV screen, and then hit me in the forehead. Right, I'm not covering myself in glory with this description, right? But hit me in the forehead, and then bounced through into their backfield effectively, and it was a knock on. Right, it's always going to be a knock on, but it shouldn't be, because that's a Falcon, because it goes back off my hands onto my forehead. Right,
it's called a Falcon when you hit it with your.
It's a Falcon. Yeah, apparently that's what they call it. So
I remember essentially header it over a
yeah, and I remember saying to the ref, "No, come off my head, and he's like, "Don't be a dick." He just looked at me. Shut up.
I remember Dricko did that weird pass thing against. Was it against Ulster or was it against?
It was against Ulster. It was against Tommy, and Tommy hated it. He was raging.
That was so weird, but you never see stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, he threw it like kind of over Dennis Hickey's head.
Yeah,
that was at they called it that fixture, the last stand. That was the last game at the Lansdowne Road.
Okay,
at Lansdowne Road. Sorry.
Yeah, it just made it such an interesting game, man. And then. What happened afterwards? Sonia McLaughlin's questions afterwards for the BBC, and which I thought were brilliant. I thought, like, what else is she going to talk about? The two most outrageous moments in the Six Nations yet, and
but she did really go after him. She did ask the same question 3 times, and she was trying to goad Farrell into criticising the ref, which he'll get in bother for. So he can't answer it, and he didn't answer it 3 times.
But it was about. She asked it I thought if that's what she was doing, she did it a very normal way. It wasn't as dickish as you think it on paper.
She certainly shouldn't have been getting abused. Like, it sounds like she was getting.
I actually thought it was really good. I thought it was a really good, interesting.
I think she is. I think she creates a really entertaining interview.
Yeah.
But I'm just imagining if you're a Farrell, you're going. You're kind of it's tough, because he's obviously just had a hard time in the pitch, and then he's answered the question. He said, "Listen, it's not."
They did really well. I thought they both did. If that's what their prerogative is, to not answer the question, then that's fine. And it's interesting to see that how they've maybe given themselves, the players, a heads up, and Eddie Jones that they're they given a little pointer going into the interview, or is that actually just their mindset all the time, is that control the controllables, and anything's out of our control, don't give out about the referee, because it's very impressive if it is, because if both of them turned around and said, "Oh, I feel like we're really harshly done by," you'd completely understand if that was, and it'd be totally normal if they did say that as well. So I don't know, I think people losing their mind over that. It's just a normal question. It's what everyone is talking about, and the exact same questions I'd have asked as well. Otherwise, you're just beating around the bush. If you don't ask those questions, just leaving out.
Did she suggest that Alan Wynne-Jones should have said to Guazer, we won't accept that try because that was unfair"?
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see your talk.
Apparently, again, I didn't see that one, so I hate saying this, but because I looked for it, couldn't find it. A few people were saying, like, mentioning it. So apparently that's what she suggested. So that's really unfair of me to say that, because I haven't seen it firsthand. So, But yeah, that again, you're right. That was a talking point. But I did feel a wee bit sorry for Farrell because it's like he's hating this, and he dealt with it very well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But he's right. She created a more interesting.
They're grown men. This is their job. They got to answer the questions. He's the captain. He's the coach. And they both didn't look like they were under too much pressure.
That's Craig Casey someday.
Nah.
I'm telling you.
He'd be
Look
giving
forward
out
to
like, fuck.
Look forward to reading his dad's tweets that day.
Other than that, I think it was just incredible, an incredible result. English discipline, mental, I suppose that's all you're going to hear all week. Mario Toje, I know he lives on the edge, but 5 penalties and 3 kickable penalties for the catfish.
Brando. Catfish Brando.
It was crazy when they got it back to 24 all, but
Catfish Brando was really good when he came on, wasn't he? There's
So
been
impressive.
a lot of talk about him, and there's been a lot of talk that he's a bolter for the Lions, and it's going according to script, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Top of the table. Who
Please,
would have expected
let Catfish Brando. Please let Catfish Brando stick.
Make a face of that on a t-shirt. Who would have thought Wales would be top of the table? Isn't it mad? We said this from the start. We were right. The Six Nations always throws up some crazy results, and here's
Wales,
one.
But
they're playing. But the way people are talking about them. Go on, sorry.
It's just Wales they should never have won as many Grand Slams as they've won, and.
Why are they there? What's the trick?
I don't know. I know it. Like, there's only so long you can get lucky or be overachieving, and it's just so funny.
But they've got unbelievable players. Like, okay, they hadn't played well up until this point, but we said this before the first game. It's like you look at Wales on paper, and they've got a savage team. All they need is a bit of confidence and belief, and it's amazing how far that will go in rugby. And they didn't have it for the Ireland match. They just defended with their lives, and they kept in there. Got lucky. They got lucky against Scotland, but also created some brilliant tries, and they had a bit of magic. And now they've got the confidence, and they were tuned in and focused. It's amazing how quickly.
Anybody out of Ireland, France, England, and Scotland. If anybody out of Ireland, France, England, and Scotland had, not Italy, if any of those other sides had have played against 14 men for the first 2 fixtures and then got 2 incredible referee decisions going their way in the third fixture, they would have won 3 from 3. And Wales are just, and you're right, I think they might get, actually we talked about this in Second Captains, and we talked about how we were sort of weighing it up whether England are too strong for them. England played some incredible rugby, by the way. When they're chasing the game, they are class to watch. But anyway, but Wales, there was every chance that they were going to turn that artificial confidence into real confidence, and it's just become real confidence. But you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. That's exactly the way the Six Nations always goes. It goes one way or another really quickly. If you get a couple of bits of luck, and Wales have got that, then all of a sudden they can go on. They could win a Grand Slam this year. It's incredible.
So Ireland, on the flip side, everyone is complaining about how we haven't been playing well. We're not at the races. Questions over the coaches. Questions over the have we got standard across our 15? And you're going, what are we like? What kind of rugby are we playing? What the offloads? Where's the offloads? Okay, we're not throwing offloads, and I know I've been guilty of this in the past, but we're not throwing offloads. That means we're never going to win a game. We can't win rugby. Guess how many offloads Wales threw on Saturday?
Oh, this is good prep. 4.
0.
Ah, no, I'm such an idiot. I fell for it.
It was never going to be middle of the road. Like, it was always
it was either going to be 20
or 0. 0 offloads. Not one offload, and they put 40 points on England. And did anyone look at that game for a second and think that Wales didn't play expansive rugby or weren't creative? There's many ways to skin a cat. They were very creative with those.
There's many ways to skin a catfish.
They were very creative with the quick tap. They got the try. They got the couple of breakaway intercepts and stuff. And it's amazing when you look at that. We were the Six Nations have been judged on offloads as a table last week. It was barely like who was top. It's got nothing to do with that. It was France had 21 offloads. Italy had 14. Ireland had the least with 5 or 6 or something. Now Ireland have I think they threw 6 at the weekend, so they're up to 11. Italy had 12, I think, at the weekend. So it's
Italy are going to win an offload Grand Slam.
Yeah. Wales are now bottom of the offload charts, but they're top of the table, and I'd say that was the exact same for last year when they or not last year, but the year before when they won the Grand Slam. So Matt Williams harping on about that at the moment to drive me bananas. Mate, you cannot win a game. You cannot break down a modern defence unless you offload. You cannot do it. You cannot win a game, mate. You cannot. First of all, Wales are top of the table. And they've beaten all 3 teams and won the Triple Crown with 6 offloads in 3 games, I think. I think that's actually how many they've had. 6 in 3 games. So, shuple.
Great stats, Barry. Great stats.
Thank you. So, Ireland, what did they do on the flip side then? They offloaded a little bit more, but okay, we know Italy were shit, but we won't focus too much on that. Quickly, actually, before I finish that, when you were saying about the hacks, I thought it was interesting. Johnny Lacey was on to me the other day, our referee extraordinaire, and he was ringing me to laugh at us like Quinny, and he said, I was like, have you any nuggets for me for the weekend? And he's like, kid, wait, no. Do you know the way?
Yeah, I thought you were about to go into Matty Williams there for a second.
good Johnny Lacey Tipperary accent, kid. He's like, the kick chase from rucks, especially if you're in a ruck, and Italy are so guilty of this, the out half kicks and no one retreats and brings the offside players onside. The refs are going to crack down on it this weekend. You'll see loads of penalties for it. And sure enough, was there at least 2, if not 3?
Yeah, their hooker gave away more penalties than Mario. I told you.
And that was from that exact thing. They've been trying to hack the system with that. Do you know the way the Italy, if you keep kicking long and aimless, it's because your man is standing 20 yards behind the ruck, but no one's bringing them on. They're just all flaking up at the same time. So it's good to see the refs. The refs have so much to watch, don't they? But I just thought that was interesting.
We've changed our tune, haven't we? Against France, we're like, one job.
Yeah, we're inconsistent.
The refs have got a lot to watch, haven't they?
For fuck's sake. Damn it. So go on, give me your lowdown.
Okay, right. Very little prepped here. I thought Jameson Gibson Park played very well. I think, first of all, by the way, a lot of lads played really well. Will Connors played really well. Hugo played very well. I think you need to take all of those really, really impressive performances with a pinch of salt, because it's Italy, and Italy are not at the races at the minute. So I don't think you can tell that much from playing well against Italy. Is that fair enough? Yep. Or is that a bit much?
I think individually you kind of can. I'm trying to judge them all as defensively as a performance. Thought it was exceptional. I thought they Italy missing Fardy as at the scrum half was huge. That was game over, and not even game over, but it was Italy obviously have been beaten by everyone, but they've been impressive at moments during the last couple of weeks. But with him, he was the best player. With him missing, they had nothing to offer. So they were easy enough to defend against, but I still think the aggression off the line and everything was brilliant collectively. And then individually, I just thought some brilliant performances, and I think that's maybe a way we have to start looking at this individually and see, what players are playing very well and what players aren't playing well, and make it harder for those guys that aren't really bringing their A game to get into the team. And
so Tyke Byrne, that is incredible to play as well as he's been playing in the row, and then move to 6 and then produce another incredible performance. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I bet you he's done himself a disservice doing that, because straight away you change how you're perceived, and people are straight away talking about Lions and his versatility being so useful on the Lions. But you know where versatile players play? On the bench or in the midweek. You know, and it's such, like, he is so good. That's so incredible that he was able to do that, change position and then be man of the match. Granted, Italy. But we should just say, Dermy, can you stitch granted Italy in after all of our sentences?
Yeah.
Okay.
Granted Italy, 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 granted Italy.
Yeah, it is hard, but to yeah, but at the same time, I do feel
he's class.
He is brilliant, and he was unbelievable. And I wouldn't change that too much of that team. I think when you're looking at front row, Tyke Furlong was unbelievable. Thought he's just been different class since he came back.
But Porter has been incredible.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Porter, but Tyke Furlong is next level. And when you think about, I heard someone talk about this recently, where what kind of world class players have we in that side? I mean, looking back in 2018 when we were beating the All Blacks and winning the Grand Slam, you're thinking, God, half our team is world class, and the rest are high level international players. At this stage, it's kind of, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe looking at them individually and how they're performing at the moment. And Tyke Furlong is absolute world class.
He is. But so Kelleher, they were both brilliant.
Yeah.
For Tyke Furlong was brilliant, and it's a big accomplishment to come straight back from injury and produce that level of output. But I think Porter has been doing something similar. I think the two of them are neck and neck.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's great. It's brilliant.
Who am I who are either of us to talk about scrum, to be fair, but
yeah, no, you're right. I think Porter's brilliant. I think just Furlong is such a ball player. Adds a little bit extra. Kelleher, despite one maybe line out going a bit spare, I think, which may not have been his fault, and it was crooked, but it seemed like a little bit of a jumpy line out. But I thought he was exceptional. I think I would love to see him start against, is it Scotland next? Yes. And then Kilcoyne, hopefully his head is okay. I think he deserves a shot. I think he needs a start. He's very explosive scrum. I know it was Italy, but I know he was he held it up quite well, and just his general carry-on aggression around the park. He's to go. James Ryan, good to see him back. Got through a lot of work. 19 tackles. Was a little bit like, I don't think he's been the same James Ryan for the last while. He just maybe needs to, I don't know if he's carrying himself a little bit. Doesn't look as comfortable on the pitch and as dynamic as he has in the past.
Yeah, I don't
he's
think
carrying his hip at times, or
I don't know. He just burst onto the scene, and he was so impressive earlier on. He's still so impressive, but it's almost like he's a victim of his own success. And people compare, like, he's still not a million miles away from what he was, but what he was so incredible. Sexton,
but I think you keep the two of them in there. You keep those second rows, and you keep
a great combo.
Keep as much of that back row as you can as well. I thought Connors was excellent.
Yeah.
And then, I thought Gibson Park was decent.
Yeah. I thought he was better. I thought he was better than decent. Actually, I thought he was very good.
Yeah, I just want to see Craig start.
Yeah. Because his dad.
And his
Are we at
uncle.
that stage in life
And his uncle.
where we want our friends' sons to play? Or daughters.
Yeah. Sexton was brilliant. Absolutely.
You know what
brilliant.
Sexton's done by being that good? He's given himself 3 days reprieve before he's in the headlines getting criticism again.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Jeez,
so
must be
annoying
so
for him.
annoying.
It's so annoying. He was like,
What did he say last week? I might make the World Cups, and headlines all over the Sexton doesn't think he'll make the World Cup. Then he had to go out and retract that statement. Like, all right,
What's the headline the following day? Sexton thinks he may make the World Cup. It's so annoying for him.
He can't win. He's just trying to get on with it. Will he just get on with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's desperation stuff to write.
Henshaw, Ringrose.
See, we got mentioned in the Irish Independent this week.
Yeah, by Rory O'Connor.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah.
I did a very nerdy, long conversation with him about James Lowe.
Oh, did you? He rang you about it. I thought it was on the show. I was there. When did we talk about this? Oh, it was on the. It wasn't on the show. Okay, yeah. It was good. It's a good article. Interesting. How do you think he went?
I'm actually struggling to remember much.
James Lowe.
Oh, he went well. He went very well. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. He is very good at hugging that touchline and backing himself not to get put into touch. Jordy Murphy actually made this point. And at one stage, he kind of cocked up the offload. He tried to change hands, but I think we saw a little bit more of the X factor that we've been used to for Leinster. But again, Italy, you won't get that against Scotland.
Yeah, it's he had a couple of kicks again that I don't know if he's kicking now because I think he mentioned that during the week where he's been told to kick. And he's been told that his left foot is a weapon, but as a winger, I'd especially on turnover. Like, remember the turnover rule? You turn over 2 passes, you go. Has that rule disappeared from rugby now? Because we saw it last week against England or against France, where we got turnovers on the line out, and Billy Byrne just kicked it up in the air, and the second is a turnover, 2 passes, get it wide and go.
Yeah, although it became so typical. Every time you make a turnover, 2 passes, everybody then shouts 2 passes, 2 passes. I remember in school, we had that. We made a turnover and someone shouted 2 passes. And then everybody just goes 2 passes, 2 passes. And then whoever it was received that second pass. Whoever it was we were playing against knew very obviously who's getting the ball. And they got smashed 2 passes later. I think, although... whatever about the 2 passes, but I think again, I don't think you can tell that much. How do you think Larmer went?
I thought he did okay. Same as Earls, he didn't get a huge amount of ball and a lot of space. This is kind of one of my the things that I'm watching the most is how much space we're creating. When you see how much space Wales create for Zamet, and how he's running in tries. We don't seem to be doing that. Our tries are, our wingers aren't running in with loads of space. Why is that?
It's, I don't know. It's multifaceted, I would say. I don't think. I think it's a shame that Ozzy's dropped. I wonder if he's dropped down the pecking order there. I don't know if you can read too much into it because it's Italy. I was disappointed to see him go off against France because I thought he had a lot more. He would have given a lot more in the last 15 minutes. I thought James Lowe had got through a heavy workload, and I thought we're not going to get as much out of him just because he's been so busy. I thought Earlsey looked fresher.
I didn't realize Jacob was back playing.
Playing well as well.
How did he do the other night?
He did really well.
He's got to be right in contention then for next week, or for 2 weeks' time.
I don't know what way the bubbles are working. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, is that to do with the bubble? Okay.
No. I'd probably not because there's a week's break. Probably not. Hopefully, I think Jacob looked sharp straight away. I thought.
Absolutely, I think he should be back in the fray straight away. I thought he was out for the whole Six Nations, and that was why he wasn't there.
That's what I'd heard as well. And Balakoon's back as well. He's not going to be in the mix for Ireland, but he is definitely a massive potential for the future for Ireland.
Yeah, I think he's brilliant. That's great to see those guys getting back. Robbie Little was back as well.
Robbie Little's back scoring disallowed tries, boy. Let me tell you, that fella knows how to score a disallowed try.
Did he get 3 or something?
I think he's a disallowed try specialist. I think if it was top trumps, he'd say disallowed tries, 10 out of 10.
Any sign of Will Addison coming back?
Don't. Let's not put ourselves through this.
Okay. One man who is back is Joey Carberry. What about that slotted kick at the end? It was gorgeous.
How long did he
Absolutely
get
gorgeous.
and how did he play?
He got 20 minutes. He did very well. He had one pass where he got smashed, but he looked very sharp, which is great. It was like straight on the field, got absolutely buckled back up.
And did everybody panic thinking this is the end of Joey for another 18 months?
Like just looking to see where he got up. Then he had a touchline kick where he went for it, drilled it down into the corner, got every yard out of it. And then he had that kick at goal from the touchline, which was beauty. So, looking sharp. I don't think, it's no chance he'd be calling it the Irish team, I don't think, in the next few weeks. But, we were saying in the show last week that he might be back in April. And he's back already. So everything is looking up Millhouse. And that was it, really. So I think Glasgow and Leinster are playing right now. And Glasgow
Leinster's spanking them.
Are they? Jeez,
They were.
Glasgow had a decent team as well. Interesting. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back with Davy Quinlan to talk about Shannon RFC and Craig Casey and his dad and his uncle and his granny and his cousins and his grandfather and his dog.